Picture this. You're getting dressed in the morning and you reach for your favourite earrings. Why those ones? They might remind you of someone you love, or you believe they'll bring you luck before a big talk. You pull on a shirt in a colour that feels right for the day. Some of you might even have those lucky socks that always make you feel more confident. Now, imagine this. You're standing before a mirror wearing clothing worn by your grandparents, woven by your ancestors. You can faintly smell the remnants of your home even miles away. It is not just fabric, but memories, history, and identity. How often do you see someone wearing something that carries a story beyond the fabric? Not just of culture, but something that could potentially signal their social status or how they stand for their identity. Today, in a world where fast fashion dominates and trends spread constantly, people begin to think of clothing as something temporary, but cultural clothing is different. It signifies meaning beyond its surface, and research shows that it can shape the way we view ourselves and connect with others. Growing up as a Somali, I was always made to wear an East African piece of clothing called a bati. I'd always wondered why it was that many East Africans wore this dress, and one day asked my mother. She told me that it signifies cultural identity and community. Once I understood the much deeper meaning of this, I saw it as more than clothing. I saw it as my identity, me showing that I belong to a community. According to a 2012 study published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology, the clothes we wear not only influence the way other people view us, but how we view ourselves. This is called enclothed cognition. The concept that the clothes we wear systematically influence our psychological processes, such as the way we behave or our thoughts and feelings. In today's modern society, we walk not only through streets, but through people's history. Daily, we see people quietly sneak cultural ties into their clothing through embroidery patterns and jewellery. People's connection through cultural clothing can be subtle but powerful. When people wear clothing tied back to something cultural or symbolic, their sense of identity may strengthen. They step into their heritage in their very own way. One day, years ago, my mother asked for me to come with her to a wedding. I was terrified. I didn't want to socialise with the people there, and I was extremely nervous. Until later in the wedding, when my mother sat me down with my grandmother, and she showed me a photo of her wearing the same cultural dress as me, but at my age. Instead of feeling nervous, I felt steady and anchored. I felt as though I was wearing generations of people upon my shoulders at once. That is enclothed cognition in action. In today's modern society, we walk not only through streets, but through people's history. We see people quietly sneak cultural ties into their clothing through embroidery patterns and jewellery. People's connection through cultural clothing can be subtle but powerful. It signifies meaning beyond its surface, and research shows that it can shape the way we view ourselves and connect with others. But not only is it personal, it's collective. A report by UNESCO in 2017 shows how cultural clothing can help preserve something called intangible cultural heritage. Think of a cultural practice like a wedding or festival. These are moments when a person's cultural attire transforms from their individuality to a communal language. In Somali culture, at a woman's bridal shower, family and friends gather together to sing folk songs, share stories, and apply henna in intricate patterns. This is a prime example of Somali intangible heritage. But why is this so important? Because in a world that can sometimes feel increasingly divided, cultural clothing connects us to our backgrounds. It strengthens who we are and lets others celebrate that with us. And in a diverse society, cultural clothing can enhance the community. Anthropologist Joanne Eicher explains that clothing is a visual language of culture. It is a way to represent beliefs without having to speak. Cultural attire connects us to our backgrounds. It strengthens who we are and lets others celebrate that with us. I want to leave you with the thought that the next time you wear your own cultural clothing, you are not just looking at an outfit. You are seeing a link to centuries of culture. You are seeing a living thread that connects you to those who came before you and those who will come after. Thank you.